There may be various benefits of using various genres of literature in English language classrooms. As we know, literature is not specifically designed for language teachers or for language teaching. It comes in various forms or genres. But as we know, most of its genres may be used for the teaching of English, and they are being used. I'll just talk about some of the benefits which are associated with various genres of literature in relation to language teaching. Let's start with the poetry. Poetry is usually metaphorical in nature. It involves a lot of figures of speeches, implied language, some tricky references to our emotions and the life outside. So, while understanding those metaphors in a language, a reader or a learner becomes acquainted with various uses of the language, unique uses of the language, and this improves his or her language to a great deal. Therefore, understanding metaphors, they are also used in real life as well, enables a student to use them in their real life as well, and to understand the tricky uses of language in real life situations. Besides, the use of poetry helps students understanding the use of language in other forms beyond the usual forms, for example, based on typical usages and rules of grammar or syntax. The poetic language is arranged slightly different in a different way based on its rhythmic patterns. Therefore, learners know all those different patterns of the use of a particular language. It also evokes the feelings and emotions of the learners, which may be motivating for young minds. And it also makes them familiar with various figures of speech, for example, irony, simile, metaphor, and imagery. As I said earlier, they are very important elements in our daily communication as well. So, this might have an impact on students' overall communicative ability as well. Let's now look into the use of short stories for language teaching. It's a short fiction, therefore it might also be motivating for the student from another perspective, because student might find it easy to read and finish in time. So it may not make them bored of the process of learning. And as I said, it makes the overall task of reading easier. It also and may also enhance the creativity of students, may evoke their critical thinking abilities, and facilitates the teaching of a foreign culture in a short time as well. Using drama to language teaching can also be very effective if employed properly, because it leads students to know how to use the language to express, control, and inform. It strengthens their comprehension ability and learning retention by involving the senses as an integral part of the learning process. It also increases students' creativity, flexibility to understand various situations, their sensitivity, because in dramas we have various real life like situations, so therefore their sensitivity is also at work. Originality, and then emotional stability, cooperation, and examination of moral attitudes is also important in relation to drama, as it is being used in language classrooms. It may also help in developing students' communication skills. A novel is a long fiction, and according to Halton, Asmani, and Thomas, there may be various benefits of using novels in language classrooms, and they include elements like they believe that novels stimulate imagination through its powerful characterization and the creation of various situations. So imagination of students is at work. It helps students to identify the emotions of the characters, and they see how various characters deal or perform in various situations. So the students may have that element of social learning by reading novels as well. It also helps or motivates students to become lifelong readers by increasing their interest in literature, and help them master the skills that will enable them to acquire information, process the knowledge, identify problems, and then formulate alternatives to deal with those problems and arrive at meaningful and thoughtful conclusions. So overall, the use of novel also enhances students' critical abilities along with their linguistic skills.